Rip this shit. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? How we doing? How do we look? If you haven't been paying attention, we got some new garbs tonight.
Oh, did we?
Did we ever?
Did we ever?
My name is Everett Delorme. This is Rob St. Clair. This is day one done here at VNL week number 2 in Ottawa. A couple of great matches today, Rob, that we got to see. Your United States won. My Canada won. We've got new jerseys. You're wearing a Daddy Stankovic jersey. I'm wearing a Stephen Marr jersey, and everything is right in the universe. Let's go.
Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Pretty good summary.
Pretty much.
I just noticed that I messed up the date on screen. It's June 4th. So not everything's right in the universe. I was so close.
Jesus.
My bad.
My
bad.
Yeah.
We had 2 banger games behind us within the last couple hours. And then, honestly, arguably the most banger content was off the court in us receiving this gear. If you haven't watched the Taylor Averill Max Holt interview, it's up here on YouTube. You must go watch it. Honestly, I wouldn't be that offended if you stopped watching this show, you went over and watched it, and then came back. So that was electric. We'll talk about that in a minute. But let's talk about the games.
Yeah.
Because
let's
these
talk
are
volleyball.
Well, let's talk volleyball. I think it's what we do best. It's one of the things that we do. And Everett, can we start with my team's game or your team's game?
No, let's start with your team's games. That was the
chronological.
Let's go chronological.
A donging
that I was not prepared for.
Me neither.
I thought earlier on, I ran into one of our fans, and he goes, what do you think of this match? I think it's going to go to the distance. Argentina, they're still in the Olympic hunt, even though they're sitting pretty, they're still in that Olympic hunt. They didn't have a great week 1. I want to see them rebound. USA, it's basically week number 1 for USA, game
Correct.
number 1 for this team because it's a brand new team. Spraw wasn't even with them in week number 1 in Tokyo. And so I was expecting to see USA come out a little bit slow, which they did at first. But it didn't take long for the Americans to really get it going, and then no answer offensively on the Argentinian side of things. Nothing from the left side of the court, very little out of the middle. Bruno Lima was their only point scorer to hit double digits, whereas on the other side, it was just the gravy train was flowing for the Americans. You had 3 different guys hitting in the double digits with 13 for DeFalco, 13 for Russell, and 12 for Anderson. It was a beautiful performance. It was textbook USA men's volleyball today, whereas it was far from being textbook for the Argentinian men.
Great summary. That's a great summary. And I talked to John Sparrow right after. He talked about the fortitude that they showed making that comeback in set 1. It was a TJ DeFalco service run that helped them. I think they were down 22-20. 4-0 run. Side out, and then three DeFalco serves to put us in good position. And that's the sort of thing that a team like the United States is looking for this week. Like you said, it's the first match that the Olympians have played since being named as the Olympians. And the U.S. is a really, really unique team. They're the only team in the world that is in that situation right now. I think the floodgates are about to open as far as other teams on the men's and the women's sides naming their Olympic rosters. Yeah. Potentially starting with the U.S. women. We hear maybe tomorrow. But for right this moment, the U.S. men are the only team that knows their 12 Olympians. And I think, and we even the rare couple of serious moments in that interview with Taylor and Max, we talked about that. We talked about that really matters to them. It matters the changing in body language, the change in buy-in, and everybody's goals just completely being on the everyone's on the same page. It's all team first once the roster is already named, and it just gives this team the freedom to figure it out. And it took us. There were moments of not super high level of detail volleyball today that I'm sure the coaches will go back and fix, like some blocking alignment things. I mean, it's hard to play against Luciano DeCecco. He's insane. I think position 6 defensive positioning was not good enough. I think there's a lot of those block touches that we can run down and win this game even more comfortably. But that overtime win in the third was electric. The blocking trap sequence that we set up to win the match, and then DeFalco on what I think is really at this point the hallmark of USA men's volleyball is the fastest go ball to the outside in transition that you could have ever imagined in your life. It's so fast. And that is the sort of thing that when you see that connect in match number 1, me as an American fan and hopefully my countrymen that root for this team should be pretty excited about what happened today. And Argentina's got some issues that they need to fix, and we can talk about them. But I was pleasantly surprised by that USA performance in literally their first match of the summer, for sure.
They seemed like they were in the middle. Like, you can tell that they've spent some time together working. and just figuring out. And I'm not going to say the kinks, because this is a team that has been together for so long and knows each other so well, but just ironing out those things that happen when you get back together with the team. And you know what? You love to see it. USA just dominated in all aspects of the game. We got to see some other guys get in there too, and we saw Garrett Mangutia come in off the bench a little bit as well, and
Mike Ama'a twice.
Mike Ama'a as
and
well.
That sort of helped us confirm some suspicions about role clarity for those guys.
Yep.
Mike Ama'a and Garrett Mangutia are both going to come off the bench and serve. Garrett will probably play a little bit of defense, and that's kind of it. We also saw Taylor Averill. That was good. But on the Argentina side, the outside hitter position was a revolving door.
Which is wild to me, because when you look at that core of Facundo Conte, like Luciano Pacheco, and Luciano Vicentin, Polanski, not Pacheco.
Polanski and Vicentin started. Palacios came in pretty quickly for Vicentin, who went 0 for 5 with 2 errors. Then we even saw Facundo Conte off the bench in the second, who was actually pretty good, but the inconsistency of that spot I was surprised by.
But even we saw at one point just Polanski picking up a tip ball and Pacheco setting him on the left side while he was still on the ground. There's just these miscommunications and mishaps happening on the Argentina side that I'd expect from Bahrain, not Argentina. Argentina's usually so tight in what they do, and that's what makes them so difficult to beat. But to me, Rob, it almost seemed like they won the South American Championships last year and they shut off since then. Right, and we saw them kind of limp through the Olympic qualifying tournament. Right,
yes, we did.
They lost to Canada and Belgium in the Olympic qualifying tournament.
And they went 5 with China.
And they went to 5 with China, which is hey, come on, you lost to a 3 and lost to a team got 3 down by Denmark. Come on. And then so far in this VNL, it's been some of the same thing, that we're missing that passion, that fire, that untangible that usually comes with Dude, Argentina's slapped us before with a worse team than this, and they're out here I'm right now with how Argentina played today versus how Canada played today. I'm confident going in to our battle against Argentina on Friday or Thursday, whenever we play them.
Thursday, I
think.
Yeah, where that's obviously from your perspective, that's a matchup that has historically tormented Canada, and it's weird to have that feeling about it. Yeah, there's something intangible missing, and I was really excited about just our first match of the week being a battle of the 2 best setters on planet Earth.
It didn't look like that.
It didn't quite look that way.
No.
Micah Christensen clearly outset Luciano Pacheco, and the rest of his team played significantly better in all phases, but I was hoping for some real fireworks. Yeah. Even if we lost 2 sets, went 5, if we lost the match, whatever, I kind of wanted some fireworks, and didn't quite happen. We kind of stomped on Argentina today.
It was it was a 3-dong.
Oh yeah, and we did not serve the ball well either. 1 ace to 14 service errors.
It wasn't a fantastic match from the USA by any means of the imagination. It was a very, I wouldn't say pedestrian, but maybe a light jog. It was a zone 2 jog for the USA today.
It looked like our first match of the summer.
Yeah,
and to beat a good team in our first match of the summer says a couple of things. This United States team is very good. They've come back and clicked quickly. They used those 2 weeks where they did not go to Turkey and got the most out of them, which is awesome. But then it says a lot about Argentina as well. They're I think they might be in a little bit of an identity crisis right now, where they need to figure out who are they and what are their goals this summer, what are their goals in this tournament, because there's something that they're definitely missing right now, because we out-hit them efficiency by 10%. 42% to 32%, and our reception numbers were absolutely off the charts. Eric Shoji is literally unservable at 72% positive.
Gross.
44% perfect.
Yeah.
That's outrageously good. So that part of our game looks very, very good, and the other little things will come along, and I cannot wait to see us play Italy on Thursday.
Oh, that's going to be a fun one. That is going to be a really
Italy's
fun one.
A-team.
Yeah. That is going to be absolutely beautiful. That's a banger of a day. We get Italy, USA, and then followed by Argentina, Canada.
Great day.
I love that.
So speaking of Canada,
let's jump right into the Maple Volleys, Because last year, Rob, we were here for in literally the exact same position, Canada versus Cuba, on night 1 on Tuesday. Luckily for us, we have already equaled our win total from last year. And now I know when I asked that to Samavuo, still awkward to interview him. He and I have no rapport yet.
You're doing the best you can, but man, he's just so Eastern European.
And also too, the friggin' Cuban people interviewing before, and I was like, you just asked all the questions, and I know he has no patience for this now.
Right.
I'm interviewing Finn McCarthy for the first time in a national team jersey, and I can see him checking his watch, and I'm like, shit. But
Yep.
A year removed, and you look at the confidence level of this team and how much it's skyrocketed, and how this team carries themselves and how they play since the end of last year's VNL. It's almost a completely different team altogether. And tonight was very much that. It wasn't a perfect game by Team Canada by any means, but where it counted, where they wanted to dominate, which was the serve and block game, they absolutely did.
Yep.
When you look at the blocking numbers, 18 blocks for Canada, led by Finn McCarthy with 7. Finn McCarthy had more blocks than Cuba. Finn McCarthy had 7. Cuba had 6. And then you look at the offensively, I thought that we were really good on first ball side out. We had a 45% efficiency tonight. They only had 28%.
Dude, against that team, to fight off that team's serving ability.
Oh, and we outpassed them too.
Yeah, well, that you're always going to outpass Cuba, but to out hit them is really, really, really impressive.
I mean, like the reality is I think people need to start realizing in the world that Eric Lepke and Stephen Marr is a top-notch outside duo.
Agreed.
There is. I don't think there's any duo in the world that's head and shoulders above them, and they're amongst the best in the world. Like, there's no one that I would like head and shoulders. Like, they're not going to be able to compete with them.
Oh yeah, there's nobody.
But
Stephen Mark just told us this. We'll upload this interview right after this show. But he just told us that there's nobody that that Canada can't play with, and Canada can't beat if Canada plays well.
But even if we saw against Poland week 1, right? They were there for 3 of the 4 sets.
Sure,
right.
The Eric Lepke and Stephen Marr is a world-class outside hitter duo. There are others that come to mind like Micheletto and Lavia,
of course.
But those 2 guys were awesome tonight. Marr 20. 15 for 33 attacking, 3 stuff blocks, 2 aces. Lepke 22 points, 20 for 32 attacking at 53% efficiency.
Yeah,
and 2 blocks.
When you look at that,
world-class reception, really by both guys.
Yeah. I mean, when you look overall at our team and the efficiency, I think that Luke Herr has really stepped up.
He has.
Just you can tell by the confidence. He comes up to me. He's like, "What's up, big dog?"
There's a little bit of a swagger to Luke Herr this year. Just a little bit. I love it. It's awesome. It's infectious.
I absolutely love it. And you think about last year when he was just coming into the team. A little bit, and like no one expected him to be there. And now this is his team. There's no doubt about that. This is his
also,
team.
Can we talk about what a crazy pull that was by Smelvolo? Just to see the potential in the kid in the tiny little sample size last year in like Smelvolo's second day in the gym or whatever it was, and to see the potential and to have that realized a year later. Yeah, what a great coaching job.
I think he's just delivering the ball real well right now, and that's really and we haven't really even touched on Finn McCarthy and how dynamic this guy is. 4 for 8 offensively with 7 blocks. I almost thought, I always expected him to get more kills. I thought he had more kills because the kills that he had came in such quick situations, a lot of them in transition. One thing that I'm noticing, and we were looking at a little bit of the video that I was shooting, Finn gets up so fast. His ground to peak and blocking and hitting is world class. The only person that I've been able to capture on camera that I've seen that move that fast in slow motion is Lozair. And that is peak compliments when you're talking about a middle in the world right now. So Finn McCarthy's ability to just be dominant, just be big, like he had some massive shit.
Oh God, the
tonight.
one on
massive.
Yant, the one on Yant in the 4th set was one of the biggest blocks I've ever seen.
We're
live.
just like complete shithouses where he's going up and you have nowhere to go, and you are seeing your life flash before your eyes when you're going up against him.
The best kind of stuff block.
Yeah, 100%. So there's
right. He even told you in the interview that he had a great blocking game tonight. But that area of his game needs some work, and I'm sure that it does. Smelvolo said the same thing. But that middle blocker group is very deep and very good, and they're going to make some of those decisions come Olympic time very difficult.
Very much so.
Yeah.
When you look at the
good problem to have.
Absolutely. When you look at Danny Demyanenko, who was maybe the best player consistently for Canada last year, Jordan Schnitzer, who has been battling an injury and we haven't seen him yet, but is going to almost drop some.
He's going somewhere.
He's going somewhere. We've been talking about it in the Discord for a while.
Yeah,
so if you're a member of the Discord, you know what I was going to say. He's going to go play for a real good team next year. You've got Lucas Van Berkel, who's the longest-standing member on this team, and it is an Olympian already. And then finally, you have Finn McCarthy, who's just blown on. Like, the middle battle, I was asking Schnitzer before the game. He's like, no, it's straight up just a bloodbath. It's just like...
And I mean, Piersashenko is on the roster as well and is contributing when he gets a chance.
100%. Like there is so many different options for Team Canada in the middle right now. And what's scary right now, I think, for teams is that Arthur Schwartz isn't rolling yet. Once he's able to open things up and I mean, I know Cuba got torched by him last year in the semifinals of the NORCECA Championships.
They did.
And they probably remembered that a little bit. And, Arthur said to us right afterwards in the post-game interview on our broadcast, and he was like, you know what, I don't know why they didn't take my line because everyone knows I'm a line hitter, right? And Cuba definitely made that adjustment today. And, I mean, I didn't think he was...
Arthur was good. He went 11 for 22, 41% efficiency, 12 points total. It was just lower volume, and it showed to me a little bit of a shift in Canada's out-of-system strategy. And I think Samelvowo has learned that, especially with his current wing trio for Canada, having played together club this year, Mar, Lepke, and Schwartz, that the best option for that team in out-of-system situations is the left side.
And we saw that in practice with them yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Where
they work on that really hard.
They were straight up working like the defender in one was literally shoveling ball to six back, and they were tracking a ball down and just setting high balls to the outside, because that is Team Canada volleyball, baby.
And those left sides, Mar and Lepke, are just making good decisions. They analyze their situations. If they have a chance to score, they take a swing to try and score. Otherwise, it's a textbook recycle play. It's a difficult team to stop, and now they've figured out what they're good at, and they're not relying on Arthur to take 40 swings, most of which are out of system, and terminate.
Yeah.
Because that is a skill set that I think is in there somewhere, but isn't consistent enough, like at the Olympic level, to be kind of the formula of how that team plays. So what Arthur is really good at, because he's so massive and is such an incredible athlete, is now he's actually running a bit of a faster ball than we've seen before.
Yeah, we saw that tonight.
So
where
now he's
that inside loop set that he's just attacking the seam on.
Right, and so he's a full step faster in his timing on the right side than he was last year. And he can do that because I think he knows now that out of system he's not going to be relied upon as much to do the hardest job in volleyball, which is score against three guys on the right side. He can just block, he can serve, and he can be a really, really good in-system option and let the outsides be the decision makers in out-of-system situations. Real damn good game plan for Team Canada.
I found that especially in transition situations, Luke Herr was really good at going on the middle. Right,
he was.
And it was, you got 12 points offensively from the middle, 10 points offensively from the middle, 6 out of Van Berkel, 4 out of Finn McCarthy. I'd like to see that a little bit higher, especially on the efficiency side for McCarthy. Efficiency for middle, he was only at 53, but like I'd like to see that a little bit higher. And just like that, once again, you talk about that progression with Luke Herr, just the balls to set some of those balls, and he's getting 1-0s in the middle. I absolutely loved it.
Yeah. So Canada looked very, very good tonight. I'm excited to see them.
Also, I think we need to give a shout out to Justin Louis.
Awesome.
Justin Louis has been super solid.
Great
for this
match
team.
tonight.
And you can tell he goes targeted 26 times in serve receive. He was solid, really good on the positive side. Could tighten it up a little bit, but he's not used to seeing that kind of pressure at this level. After
54% positive, only getting aced once against Cuba. Is a damn good match.
Yeah.
And that is, I'm sure, that is what he's being told to do. Fight the ball off. Let us make our decisions in out-of-system offense.
He's passing, though. 74%
like
positive. Where was that this year for Monza?
He was the best player on either team tonight. And I think he kind of took over that late part of the fourth set. Like Luke Herr was going to him every single ball 3 or 4 times in a given rally, letting him make decisions, letting him like initiate that famous joust play that he does so well, and then take sick rips cross court, and he was great out of the back row. He was good on the right side. Like EFL, man.
EFL.
EFL.
The Lepke lefty is a little.
Mar did one tonight.
But also too his pause and swing late is like we're seeing it in his serve, especially that float serve that he's running and he's going after Lopez. It's literally toss to one, pause. It's like toss facing to one on an angle, toss outside, turn my shoulders, and then go at Lopez down the line. And
Right.
Lopez was having a tough time with it all night long when Lepke was serving at him when he was in position 5.
Yep.
And we saw it in the offense too, especially out of the back row, for him to go up, pause, turn his body in the air, and then try to attack high hands.
Right.
And that type of awareness right now from Eric Lepke is something that Lube is going to love next year.
That's right. It's a real unique mechanical thing
Yep.
for a guy to be able to hang and wait like that with his arm. I want to talk about Cuba for a minute.
Yeah, we have to.
We of course we have to. The number one thing that we have to start off the Cuba discussion is that Robert Landy Simon was a last-second scratch.
He was.
He was listed as a starter. He technically did start the match.
He
was
took swings in warm-up.
Right. Like, so he was planning on playing tonight. He was announced as the starting middle blocker seconds before first serve, but then he was immediately substituted out even before first serve for Romy Alonso. And then 5 or 10 points into the first set, we saw Simon slowly walking out of the locker room.
Yeah.
Robert Landy Simon this is his last summer. This is it. He's at the very, very end he's on the 18th hole of his career, so to speak. But I think there's cause for concern.
I think so too.
I think there's cause for concern.
Based off the discussions that we had tonight, I absolutely think there's cause for concern, and that is, it's honestly gut-wrenching.
I know.
It's.
I was so excited to watch him.
Yeah.
And we won't speculate. We'll see what happens in Cuba's next match. But there's cause for concern, and we ran into Concepcion in the tunnel, and he even was like, well, it's like, yeah, I mean, we played okay, but like as he pointed over his shoulder to Robert Landy, like he got hurt. Like everybody knows that Robert Landy Simon is the heart and soul of this Cuban team. Everybody knows the significance of him being back with the team to make this last run. I hope for him that his body hangs on.
Yeah, I really do. I want him to see him come back and make an impact. I want to see him come back and be the player that I've seen him be before. Just because it's better for volleyball. It's better for the sport. You know, like
it's important for the sport for him.
And it's also important for Cuba. Like Cuba was fantastic in week number 1, and we played a deflated Cuban team tonight, right? Without they honestly, you know what they need? They need Herrera's psycho.
So that was the second thing I was going to bring up.
They need that psych because with they need that energy, because Yant is low energy, Lopez is low energy, Sanchez low energy. All of their guys in their court are low energy, and Simon is, I wouldn't say he's high energy, but we've seen Simon turn it on.
Yeah, there's just like
everyone knows.
There's
what that
a level
looks
of intensity with Simon that's contagious because of the respect that he commands. Yeah, this team misses Herrera. I think that was the second most important takeaway for Cuba from this match. And I'm not saying that Michael Sanchez is a bad player, because he's not. I think he's versatile and skilled and smart and has utility, but he doesn't command the respect. As far as like another team allocating blocking resources to him, he does not command the respect that Jesus Herrera does.
No.
One, he runs a higher ball, so that it allows an opposing block to lean even further away from Sanchez.
Well, we saw it
which
tonight,
we saw. Yeah, I want to break down that point, because I think it was really indicative of what was going on there. But just the Herrera's ability and just the respect that he commands makes Cuba more difficult to play against when Herrera is there versus 100%. When he's not. So all they had to do tonight, especially once Canada realized that Robert Landy Simon wasn't a factor, is they had to do the best they could against Yant and Lopez. And Yant and Lopez were perfectly fine.
They were both pretty good. I think one had 18, the other one had 19.
Yeah, real similar efficiency for both. Lopez passed the ball phenomenally well. Yant did not.
No.
But neither of them were a huge factor from the service line.
Nope.
That definitely was disappointing for Lopez. But full-strength Cuba is going to be real scary, and this tonight was not full-strength Cuba. Still good, not good enough, and Canada was clearly the better team, against Cuba with no Herrera and no Simon. Clearly.
Yeah, we were. And
Yep.
you could see it right from the jump. I mean, we jumped out, what was it, like an 8-4 lead in the first? And even in that second set that we lost, there was chances for us to win it there.
Sure. Yep.
So I'm very happy with match number 1 for Canada here at home. I love the tone and the energy that they're bringing. Hopefully soon I'm going to be able to drop a joke for Samuel Vuo to
crack a little
smile.
That's going to be
At least yesterday he shook my hand and he was like, "Hey, how are you?" And then he walked right past me afterwards. But there's a little bit of recognition there. There's a little bit of recognition.
You are doing the absolute best thing.
Like
you can.
I'm better boys with John Speraw right now than I am. Like we have a better relationship with Team USA, like coaching staff, than I do Team Canada coaching staff. It was a little wild, but I mean,
you'll get there.
Get there.
I think we should briefly acknowledge the games that happened on the other side of the world.
I think we need to brief, because
there's exactly one even play that I want to acknowledge, and it was Semyon Nikolov bouncing that ball.
That's literally the first thing I said to you this morning.
Oh my God.
When we woke up at the Airbnb, I was like, Semyon Nikolov, did you see Semyon Nikolov's swing? And he was like, no. And I just showed it to him.
Jesus Christ.
G-Volley had posted it. Big shout out to Glenn. And that was the nastiest 2-ball I've ever seen in my life.
From a setter, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Nastiest 2-ball from a setter I've ever seen in my life.
It was unbelievable. And the kid's 17. So that was cool. Bulgaria took a set against Poland's A- team, and Bulgaria deserves to be commended for that. Otherwise, Germany, they brought Grozer this week. They didn't play him against Brazil. They got donged in epic fashion. We watched some of that game last night.
It was 15-16-15. It was
boring.
A bore
and then
fest.
And then Iran had no chance against Japan in Japan with Ran and Yuki back. So
dude, Lucarelli's numbers in this game, he was 11 for 14, no errors. He was a 39% efficiency. Sorry, 79% efficiency with 3 blocks and an ace.
2 aces.
2 aces, sorry. 2 aces.
Damn, what a clean game. And they did all that without Bruno, because Bruno was sort of the last-second scratch with a minor calf injury.
Yeah, but okay, without Bruno, you go to Kachopa.
No, I wouldn't say it is.
Yeah, it might be even, like, in certain areas, I think it's even an upgrade.
Maybe.
Right? So, Brazil is just rolling. I really don't. Honestly, though, Lucas Bergman, I thought was really, really good for Brazil.
Yeah.
I was really uninspired by him when I saw him at the Pan Am Cup a couple of years ago. He bounced one ball down the line that I was like, goodness gracious, little Bergman. I didn't know you had that in you.
Yeah.
Right?
It was pretty cool to see that.
It was really cool. So I like to see that. Like, a little bit of a young flair for Brazil there, but still haven't really faced much solid, We'll have to see if they face something a little bit more solid this week. Moving on to the next game, Poland with a 3-1 win over Bulgaria. We talked about it briefly, the nice swing from Semyon Nikolov. Dimitar Dimitrov, the only player in double digits for Bulgaria with 18. He went 17 for 36.
I'm not talking about Bulgaria. Who cares?
Well, I was going to say one thing, and then we're going to go right back to Poland.
Poland, who brought the guys this week. The only potential Olympians they're missing are Zatorsky, Bieniek, and Wilfredo Leon.
Yeah.
They have everybody else. They brought both opposites. They brought both setters, in our opinion, Janusz and Firle. And Gerbic made the very difficult decision to leave the greatest setter in the world at home in Grzegorz Łomacz.
Oh, no.
How disappointing for all of us. But then the outside position is obviously of interest to Poland. They brought Semeniuk, Fornal, Bednorz, and Śliwka. So no Szalpuk, no Leon. I assume Leon is hurt like he always is these days. Poland is really good. Whatever. I kind of want to watch a couple more of their games to get a full read on it. Bartosz Kurek was not very good.
No, 9 for 24 with
5 errors.
3 errors blocked twice, only 17% efficiency. I know you guys don't like Ducky. I don't know why we call him Ducky.
Because Kaczka in Polish is duck.
Oh.
Kaczmarek.
Okay. Yeah. I love Ducky. I think he's great.
He's signed for JSW next year. That was announced today.
I think he's the best. I think he's the starter for this team. I think he fits in better with a system that shares the ball better.
He connects with Janusz better. That I agree with.
And you're not telling me that guys like Śliwka and Semeniuk and Janusz and Zatorsky all are more comfortable playing with a guy that they've played with?
This is why I'm so interested in Poland, because not only are they going to have to pick a 12, they're going to have to pick a starting 7.
Yeah.
And they're so damn good at almost every position that they have the hardest choices to pick a starting 7.
Just call it Zaxa, man.
Pretty much. And we talked to John Speraw. We've talked about all Olympic summer, and we'll continue to talk about the importance of role clarity. Poland is going to have a really hard time developing role clarity.
Yes.
They're going to have a really hard time with that.
Yes.
And that's because they're so damn good at every position. It's a good problem for them to have, but it is a problem that they're going to have.
They only have one, maybe 2 positions locked in, and that's
Firle, and I don't think Libero's locked in. I think I've said Popivchak is better than Satorsky for years now.
Don't call it Zaxa. They won't make the playoffs.
Oh,
man. The Aussies in the chat right now are killing it.
Aussie from the top row.
Oh, man, that is great.
Oh.
Well, I said the Aussies, but Aussie isn't
the
Aussies, but Aussie is an Aussie.
Yeah, we've got
those are our 2 prime Aussies right there.
We love you guys on the other side of the world. It's good that you can watch us. Hey, the last couple things we have to talk about, because we're not talking about Japan versus Iran, who cares, is what happened off the court today. Everett, I want to stand up and model this jersey.
Oh, are we modeling
jerseys? Yeah. We got to get in the frame. I want to show the back of the jersey.
Ooh.
Oh, ooh. Yeah. Ooh, give him a bow to the face. Daddy Stankovic. I now own a Daddy Stankovic jersey. It was given to me by Stephen Marr in the middle of an interview with Taylor Averill and Max Holt. It was so beautifully chaotic, and it was one of my favorite volleyball memories ever. It was unbelievable. And Everett has not only, this isn't just a Stephen Marr jersey.
This is a game worn.
This is a game worn.
Yeah.
Stephen Marr jersey.
Yeah. I've never been, especially at beach tournaments, you see guys being like, can I have a jersey? Can I have a jersey? I've never been that type of guy.
Me neither.
And I've never been one to ask for, that kind of stuff. Does it hurt sometimes when I look around people who spent, 1 year with Volleyball Canada and they got, a bunch of sweet gear and I've basically never got anything? Yeah, a little bit. I've been doing this for almost 15 years and never really been gifted anything. So this was really nice. I really appreciated it. Mara was like, I didn't know who to get you, so I just gave you me, and that was, I couldn't have appreciated anything more. I think just some of the stories I've shared today kind of shows how far back Mar and I go, and me watching his development to what he did this year was incredible, right? Because people, I know people are like, oh, Everett's such a, he's on Mars nuts. I consider Mar a friend. That's someone I started watching volleyball when he was 14 years old. And so watch that progression to where he is now and to what he's been able to do.
And it's just a way to memorialize the run that Monza team had this year, and just to remember how awesome it was with those Canadians. I'm excited for people to watch the Stephen Marr interview that we're about to upload, because we talked about it. We talked about how the love and respect between you and I and Steve, and you and I and Steve's family. We've mentioned the Marr family many times. They are the absolute best.
Well, because I was wearing another present. This is we're 2 for 2 now in getting clothing gifted us by the Marr family.
Yeah, I got the Charleston Dirty Birds minor league baseball team.
I was wearing that. I was wearing that this morning, and the boys were loving it in the Airbnb. So, yeah, it's just. For me, it's it's this reason why we do it.
This is what it's all about.
I think maybe that's for us what our goal isn't. I think the toxicness of sports media in general, where people make shit up and people talk shit about players and talk bad about them. For me, it's this thing that whenever I meet a player, I always fall in love with them, and it's the people that we do it for. And just to have that connection, even with the American guys this week, showing the love that they've shown us has been incredible.
It is incredible. So because this is volleyball we're talking about. This isn't a sport with millions and millions and millions of dollars in media that creates those toxic relationships with the players because it's the nature of the business. That's not what's going on here. We are all on the same team. And I think we're on the same team of the game of volleyball, and the players get that and appreciate it because we help promote them. In a perfect world, as we continue to gain reach, we are going to make them more money.
Hopefully,
that's the goal.
That would be the goal. Yeah.
To tell these guys stories and to promote their personalities and their on-court abilities. And like when we get feedback from players and we get that appreciation from them that they respect what we do the same way we love watching them play, it's really, really validating.
I will
really,
say this
really
though.
Cool.
While Mar is not necessarily in the Discord, he does have eyes in the Discord.
He is aware. He's
So
aware of
when
what
you guys
stooges
talk
are saying
shit,
in there.
he knows all about it. Okay?
Also, I'm not even gonna tell the story, the Sokolov story, because I'm gonna tease it to make you guys watch the interview. Watch the Stephen Marr interview, the very end of it. We're about to upload it for what that Team Canada did to honor Svetan Sokolov last year after Bulgaria beat Belgium. It was amazing.
It is great.
And then also we had the Taylor Averill Max Holt interview, which Stephen Marr kind of stole the show by delivering us these incredible jerseys. But that was 18 minutes of pure, beautiful chaos. And I don't even know what we talked about. I can't wait to go back and watch it because I have no idea what we said. But we had 2 microphones. We were passing it back and forth. Max Holt was moving all over the place. It was chaos. It was electric. Like that sort of stuff is what this channel is kind of all about at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's so great.
Real quick, Rob, let's just wrap up the one other game we haven't talked about at all yet, and that would be Japan.
I don't care.
I do a little bit.
I don't care.
You don't care about a 3-dong by Japan?
No.
Okay, fair enough. 23,
Japan,
22, and 17.
Right, because I already said it. Japan's playing at home, and they have their whole team. Who cares? They're better than Iran. We'll talk about Japan when their games matter. Who cares?
All right. Well, is there anything else?
Go watch the video we did earlier today where we drafted volleyball athletes that we think would be good in other random Olympic events.
Yeah.
We actually got some good feedback. I told Taylor Averill that I picked him for the sailing category. He was very honored because he says he has some like core memories with his grandfather, who is a decently accomplished sailor in the Bay Area, like when he was growing up. So that was cool. And Stephen Marr and his mom gave immediate feedback about how good your powerlifting pick was.
But I have and I told the story of exactly why. And it was funny when we were talking to Jill down there earlier. She remembers that conversation as well too.
Which was 13 years ago?
Yeah, this was 2011. So
people in volleyball have insane memories, man. It's awesome.
And once again, that's how far. So it's special. Actually, one of the worst injuries that Stephen Marr ever got was because of my brother. So it's 17U. It's 17U nationals. Stephen Marr is a 16U, but he's playing up with his brother's
so that's 2010.
Yeah, this is 2010. So it's my 18U year.
Okay.
And my brother is playing, and he hits a short serve, and the libero comes in and passes it. Like, it's a real short serve, so the libero comes in and passes it, sets the setter, and the setter sets the ball to Marr. Well, as Marr's jumping to hit the ball, the libero gets up and flips Marr, and he falls hard on his back. And it was one of those moments where I think we were at Columbia Bible College in Vancouver, and the entire gym just went silent.
Yeah.
And luckily he was up and okay, but we go way back.
Does go way back. Yeah, that's the best stuff. That's the stuff that we are so excited to get when we come to events like this. Yeah. Is just to really just chop it up with these guys on and off camera. And
I kind of wish we had a vlogging crew actually following us, because our conversations with them off camera are often way better.
They are.
And they're not even it's not even stuff that we couldn't talk about. It's always just shooting the shit.
Yeah.
My conversation with Spraw yesterday before we did the interview was amazing. And I wish we would have, it would have been so just casual and stuff. I think that's a vibe that we should maybe discuss.
We will continue to try and capture more and more of what's going on here. For now, it is 11:30 p.m. We've got some beers to go home and drink and to celebrate a very successful day one of VNL. Tomorrow, the Netherlands versus Serbia is first. Italy versus France is second. I saw a little bit of Italy's practice today. I saw Alessandro Micheletto. I saw a serve that he hit, and I almost fell out of my chair. He is
half chub, eh?
Oh, more. He is the unquestioned best player in the world, and we're going to see him in action tomorrow, and I can't wait for that.
Love it.
Oh, let's go. Love it. Let's go. We love you all. We're going to get these interviews up, the Canada interviews, because there's some good ones. Marr, McCarthy, and Samuel Vuo.
Yeah.
And anything else?
No. Make sure you check out our draft from earlier today. It was a fun one.
It was fun.
Make sure you check out any of the other content that you've missed this week. Tomorrow we will be back for another post-game show, probably same time, definitely same place.
Right here.
Yeah, we love you all. Won't there be a drunk stream? Yes.
You wait and see. You wait and see. If you look in the right places, you might be able to find it.
0 to 100, we will be at every game. Every single game.
Yeah, that's
we don't
right.
miss a minute.
That's right.
That's what we
Never.
do.
Love y'all.
Bye.
Daddy.
Mar. We're a couple of sevens. It's pretty accurate.